Hi, welcome to day number 26 of the 30-day practice blueprint. Thank you for making it this far, really. If you're listening to something for 26 days, I feel privileged to be able to have a few minutes of your day. I know things are busy. We're all real busy in practice and trying to make ourselves better. That's what this is about. I know some people are maybe out of the States and they maybe don't do some of these technologies, but I think it's important to cover them because I'm basically just sharing what's really working well in our practice. And so yesterday we talked about the non-covered procedures. And there are a lot of non-covered procedures, and there's a lot of patients that are just self-pay these days. And we haven't really touched on that, but I have a lot of patients that, even though we have kind of mandatory healthcare, a lot opt out and they choose not to do it, and so they just pay cash. So we also have cash pay prices for patients. Usually, it's discounted a certain percentage because when we send it to the insurance, they'll discount it for us anyway. So we give them a little break on that. Today, we're going to talk about vascular studies. ABIs, or we use a certain system called PadNet. You might use a different one, and we've been doing this for a number of years. So let me kind of share the background of this. We were kind of early adopters with PadNet, but I wasn't an early, how do you say it? I wasn't doing a lot of it in the beginning. And once again, it goes back to what I was talking about in the last couple of days, is if I'm not confident about something, I'm not doing it. If I don't believe in it, not even believe in it, if I don't understand it. And so I think part of the problem with circulation studies, and it was actually the same with Shockwave in the beginning. I just didn't understand enough about it, or other types of things. If you don't understand it, you're not going to recommend it. You're not, because unless you're just doing it for other reasons, right? If you're doing it just to make a quick buck, but you're not going to, I don't know. I can't sleep at night if I do that. Okay. A quick case in point. I hope no one's listening here, but I don't care because you're not paying for it. I used to do a lot of those biopsies for neuropathy. I do a lot of biopsies. We didn't even really touch about biopsies, but I do a lot of biopsies for different dermatological conditions that aren't getting better, lots. But the ones for the nerves, it didn't really change what I was doing. Okay. So I was doing it, and then, they say to do another one after you put them on something. And I didn't really want to sell a lot of stuff in the office. I just didn't really believe it. I just couldn't sleep well at night. So, coming down to this, you guys you have to be able to sleep well. If you can't, I wouldn't do it, right? I would stop it. And that's just kind of my recommendation. If you're always doing the right thing and telling the truth, it's easy to remember what you're doing, because you're always going to just do what you're doing. Okay. So circulation study is one of those things that I didn't really understand a lot about. I did a deep dive. So basically, I went to my librarian, okay, at the hospital, and I said, hey, give me all these studies so I can learn about like ABIs and when we should do them. And, what happens if they have pulses? Why would I do it? And there's articles about why people with pulses still need ABIs, or how they can be false or incorrect. And I understood it, and I was looking at kind of the guidelines, and I kind of came up with my own working way of doing it. Also, I'll share what I do, but I would recommend you guys do your own research. Okay. But what I kind of came down, because how I was doing ABIs was I was doing it, well, if insurance covered it, and then I was doing it if they had like open wounds, and that would be the only thing, or if I was going to do a procedure on them. Those are the only ones I was doing it. So I've changed a little bit. Okay. And it's been a number of years now. And so I do ABIs, and I feel confident doing it on any diabetic over the age of 50, and any non-diabetic over the age of 70. Okay, those are the people that are high risk factors for circulatory problems. And then I repeat those yearly. So the way I do that is I have a tickler in my system. Once one is done by my staff, they schedule the next one a year from now. I review them. I don't usually have them come back for a special visit to review the results. I usually review it at the next visit. If they have a nail care visit, if they don't have a nail care visit, then I'll do that. I'll call them over the phone. I don't usually have them come back in. And then I have different verbiage within my medical record about ABIs. And so I'll actually add that. I'll add my documentation here. So basically I have documentation if they have mild to moderate disease, and then I have documentation if they have severe disease. So that's the big thing, okay, of what I do. I also send a copy always to the primary care doctor. It's done automatically by my staff. And I also show it to the patient when they come in. So I show there's a value there. So I would ask your rep or someone to get you the articles, read the articles so you'll feel confident in why you're doing it. Okay. Let me show you a few resources that I think that are helpful for me. Okay. That have been helpful for me. Okay. So let me just share my screen here with you guys. Okay, so here is a ankle brachial index. This is once again one of my other patient presentations. Some patients want more information about this. So here's an example. I talk about the benefits covered by insurance, don't have to go to the hospital. I talk about an example of the report, kind of what it shows. I'll talk about reasons to do it. Okay, once again, these are the things that I talked about before to my patients. Okay, actually, let me get this. History of tobacco use, diabetes age of 50. I do 70, but over the age of 65, high cholesterol, leg pain. So I used to only do it for leg pain or ulcers, right? And hardly any people have leg pain or ulcers, and so I wasn't doing that much of it, but now I do a lot more and there hasn't been any problems. This is kind of what the tests mean, what the levels show. And the TBIs, I talk about that as well. And then I talk about a vascular surgery or interventional radiology consult. So in our practice, we used to have vascular surgeons reading it. Now we have interventional radiologists reading it, and we kind of refer to both depending on how severe it is. If it's not that severe, a lot of times we go to interventional radiology or cardiology. They can do it, the little stent things. If not, we'll send them to vascular surgery who we have a good relationship with. Okay, I did a lecture a while ago. I'm not going to give you guys the whole lecture, but I will put a link to the slides if you want to watch these. Basically, it's optimizing clinical workflows with PadNet. I didn't earn anything. I don't make enough on these things, but I did this for them. This is a nice little video. I'm not going to make you watch it right now, but it's a video I kind of explain how to do things in the medical record. I talked about the patient experience. I talk about who kind of qualifies for it. In terms of how we look at things in the office. I talk about common questions that patients ask and how I answer them. I'll try to find the actual video. If I can get the video from Chris, I'll put it on here. And then I talk about the after procedure, who I send stuff to, what I do if there's mild to moderate disease, how I send them patient education information, and then I repeat it in a year. So, we do a lot of circulatory studies in our office. And I think you can kind of think of it in a similar way of like x-rays. A lot of times we're getting x-rays on patients and we don't see anything on the x-ray. And it's okay. Doesn't mean that x-rays are bad, because a lot of them do show that there is pathology on the x-ray. Same thing with the vascular studies. It's better to have negatives because same thing with biopsies. You're going to find negative things, and then eventually you're going to find the positive things that you can send out for these limb-threatening diseases for our patients. I'll try to find some of those other resources if I can. Let me know what your comments are in terms of circulatory tests and things like that, or if there's any other tests that I haven't really included up to this point, because I'm kind of done with the tests and things like that we do in the office. I didn't really go much into biopsy, but I told you a little bit today about the biopsies. The key with the biopsies is you just numb them up with one cc of Lido with epi, and I usually do 2 millimeter punches just so I don't have to put a stitch in it. That's why I do 2. Some people do 3s or 4s, but I find the 2s are smaller, and I don't have to put a stitch. Just saves me some time. So that's it for circulatory studies. Once again, I am not paid. Maybe eventually I will be paid by these people. I'm not paid by these people. But these are just things we use in the office. So I'd love to know what you guys use, what your thoughts are. Put it in the comments section, and please refer this to a friend so I can help more people with this course. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to be talking about outpatient surgery. So outpatient surgery, kind of different tips that I found that really helped kind of to wow the patient experience. Okay, thanks.